Jupiter. In our neighborhood, it's the undisputed king. It's so massive that all the other planets in our solar system could fit inside it twice over. We think of it as the definition of giant. But what if I told you that out in the deep reaches of the Milky Way, there's a world that makes Jupiter look like a marble? A planet so gargantuan that it pushes the very definition of what a planet can be. Welcome to the Cosmos Quest. And today we're leaving the solar system behind to find the largest planet ever discovered. We're talking about a world with enough volume to swallow thousands of Earths and a gravitational pull that would crush anything in seconds. Before we meet the king, we have to understand the metrics of big. In astronomy, size isn't just about how much space you take up, it's a balance of mass and volume. First, there's mass. This is how much stuff is packed into the planet. Jupiter is about 318 times more massive than Earth. But as you add mass to a gas giant, something strange happens. Gravity becomes so strong that it starts compressing the gas. If you kept adding mass to Jupiter, it wouldn't necessarily get much wider. It would just get denser. Then there's radius and volume. This is the physical size. Some planets are puffy. They have low mass, but are huge because they are hot and their gases are expanded. Finally, there's the gravitational pull. The larger the mass, the stronger the grip. On a giant planet, you wouldn't just feel heavy. Your very atoms would be struggling against the pull of the planet's core. Located about 358 light-years away in the constellation Musca, we find our record breaker, HD 100546b, also nicknamed KR Muscae b. Discovered using the Very Large Telescope in Chile, this isn't just a planet, it's a protoplanet. It is still in the process of being born. While Jupiter is about 70,000 kilometers wide, HD 100546b is estimated to be nearly 7 times wider, and it's estimated to be roughly 15 to 20 times the mass of Jupiter. To put that in perspective, if Jupiter were the size of a basketball, Earth would be a nickel, and HD 100546b would be the size of a large tractor-trailer tire. It is so large that it sits right on the brown dwarf limit, the boundary where a planet is so heavy it almost becomes a star. Because it's still forming, it's surrounded by its own circumplanetary disk. It's essentially eating the dust and gas around it, growing larger every second. Its atmosphere is a hellish swirl of superheated gas with temperatures reaching over 1,200 degrees Fahrenheit. But how does a planet get this big? Most planets form via core accretion, a phenomenon where dust grains stick together to form a rock, which then grows big enough to suck in gas. But for titans like HD 100546b, scientists look at disk instability. Imagine the massive disk of gas around a young star becoming so heavy that it collapses under its own weight, forming a giant planet almost instantly. It's a violent, chaotic birth. And the weather? On a world this size, the pressure is unimaginable. Deep inside, the hydrogen gas likely turns into a liquid metal. The storms here would make Jupiter's great red spot look like a light breeze. We're talking about planet-wide heat waves and gravitational shocks that ripple through the atmosphere. Because the planet is less than 10 million years old, it actually glows with its own internal heat. If you were close enough, it wouldn't just reflect the light of its star. It would be shimmering with a dull, dark red infrared glow. But how do we even see something 358 light-years away? We use a technique called direct imaging. Most exoplanets are detected when they pass in front of their star, causing a slight dip in the light. However, HD 100546b is so large and so far from its star that we can actually photograph the infrared light it emits. The distance of this gigantic planet from its star is about 50 times the distance between Earth and the Sun. Using instruments like NACO on the Very Large Telescope, astronomers use a coronagraph to block out the blinding light of the central star. It's like using your hand to block the sun so you can see a bird flying nearby. This allows us to see the faint blob that is a planet 7 times the size of Jupiter. HD 100546b isn't the only contender. We found ROX 42BB, another gas giant that might be even more massive, and WASP 17b, which is a puffy planet, nearly twice the size of Jupiter, but with only half its mass. As the James Webb Space Telescope and the upcoming Extremely Large Telescope begin to peer deeper into these systems, our record breaker might be dethroned. We are only just beginning to realize how diverse and how massive the universe can be. HD 100546b reminds us that our solar system is just one tiny version of what a planetary system can look like. Out there, giant means something entirely different. If you think these giant planets are wild, wait until you hear about what might be orbiting them. Could a planet this size have moons as big as Earth? Watch the next video to explore the hunt for habitable exomoons, the moons of giant worlds that might actually support life. And if you enjoy learning about amazing discoveries like this, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching. Until next time, keep looking up and stay curious.